The Cronulla Sharks versus the Sydney Roosters. 9 Sunday football on the wide world of sports.
Both the Sharks and the Roosters keen to atone for disappointing performances last week. Cronulla lacklustre against Brisbane, while the Roosters were pipped by the Penrith Panthers. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us at Toyota Park. A glorious afternoon in the Sutherland Shire. Like quite a breeze blowing, and that may well play a part in proceedings during this contest. An interesting positional change for the Cronulla side, and this is how they line up. Peachy at fullback, Youngquest and Franze goes onto the wing. Kent and Phil Bailey, normally a back rower, he goes out to the centres. Bird is the 5/8, Brett Camorley the halfback and captain. And a forward pack of Graham, Bickerstaff, Eismunger into the starting lineup, with Stevens, Beattie and Treese to the front row. And off the bench, we see Nutley, Bosnich, Hilda and Jai Mullane added to the squad. Their coach, Chris Anderson. For the Roosters, also a couple of changes. Minicello is the fullback. Payer goes onto the wing alongside Byrne. Ryan Cross into the centres with Justin Hodges. Brad Fittler is the 5/8 and captain. Finch at half. And a front six of Ricketson, Morley, Fitzgibbon, Jason Kalis, Wing and Cusack. And their interchange sees Robinson, Crocker, Caddick and Metasila. Their coach, Ricky Stewart.
And Brad Fittler takes the Sydney Roosters out, the defending premiers. 12 times they've won a premiership, including the most recent. And of course, beaten on the bell basically by Penrith last weekend, just the point in it. They'll be looking to find the form that carried them to 2 wins on the trot at the start of the season. There's Justin Hodges, originally from Trinity Bay up there in North Queensland. Looking forward to today and, of course, to the Origin Series and a chance to redeem himself personally this year. Fitzgibbon, he scored tries in the grand finals in 99, 2000 and 2002. One of the real workhorses of rugby league. Churchill medalist. Peter's already mentioned the weather. It's an absolutely delightful day. And the Sharks looking to put it together. No other word but dismal could describe their performance against Brisbane. Beaten by Melbourne here in front of a crowd that comes here expecting to win each and every time. A win against the defending premiers will go a long way to solving the pain that the supporters are feeling at the moment. Junior Kangaroos representative in 2002 in the 6 shirt, Greg Bird. And of course, the figurehead, the captain at the top of the bridge, Brett Camorley, the Churchill medalist in 99 with Melbourne. Some people thought that was Matthew Johns in his new job, but it's not. He's in the box with me today. Matthew, welcome on your maiden voyage.
Thank you,
Don't
guys.
hit an iceberg.
Interesting match, guys. 2 contrasting styles. The Sharks like to play a flat style of attack. The Roosters play a rushing up and in. Something has to give.
So it's the Sharks. They're running right to left. Maybe the breeze with them in the first half. It does swirl around here, sometimes hard to judge. But it could well play a part in the ultimate result. Harrigan blows the whistle. First penalty of the game against the Cronulla defenders. And Craig Wing finding the line with a decent kick on the 40-metre line on the western side of this ground.
Right, now it does swirl as we see Jason Kalis take it forward, but watching the early games, the breeze definitely behind the Sharks. Camorley is their 40-20 kicker. He got 2 in 2002.
Adrian Morley on halfway. And a cutout ball, a face pass across to Fitzgibbon. Wing, an early scurry out of dummy half. He normally holds back. There he goes, gets it back on the inside. Ricketson away for Finch, and Finch is over. What a start for the Roosters. And it was all Craig Wing. He went from dummy half so early in the game, and they supported him, and then a try.
Well, whether he normally goes later or not, you've got to be aware of Wing out of dummy half. You see the outside defender going up a little bit quicker than the man on his inside. That opened up the hole, and then the support play came in the form of Luke Ricketson and young Finch. Having a ball playing for the Tricolours, really enjoying it. But this man is absolutely explosive around the ruck area and has proved it once again.
Yeah, Nick Graham just moved up a little bit too far there. Chris Booty just didn't have the mobility to get across. One thing about Craig Wing, he will test the mobility of big forwards. Finch supported nicely back on the inside. That's a bad start for the Sharkies.
Fitzgibbon raises the flags, and David Middleton tells me that's 30,000 points since 1908 for the Foundation Club. My God, you can go back. You can find a stat.
And you've got to have a look at him, Ray. Delighted bench there, although Ricky Stewart realises it's early days. On one of the rare occasions he's actually down on the bench, like he will be for the duration.
Let him up now. There's quite a bit of rivalry between the coaches. That's been well documented. Mind you, they won't be scoring the tries and making the tackles. But there'll be, I would imagine, just a satisfying smile on the face of the winner today. Fittler then, brushing away from Graham, brushing off another. Hodges goes down the right side, sees Peachy coming, and knew that Peachy would take him. Oh, now they pick him up and drive him.
Yeah, Phil Bailey there. He's been moved to left centre today, trying to stiffen up that three-quarter line. I feel that he's got to start well against Justin Hodges. One thing about Justin Hodges, if you don't, he's going to be in your face all day, and his confidence is going to grow.
And a little bit of feeling already. You see Hodges gets rid of David Peachy, and then the Sharks attack. And Hodges doesn't like it, and it is the number 12, as Matthew points out, who's gone out in the centres to basically mark up against him, who come to grips.
Lock, stay in that scrum. Do not break early. Hold.
Scrum
now.
on the halfway. Here is Greg Bird. Now Kamali sweeps it back to the short side to Bickerstaff.
Leaving.
And here is Treaster. Gee, that tackle's a bit high. Treaster doesn't like it. And then he's gone after, I think, the wrong fellow, because Finch was the bloke that made the tackle. Well, there is a bit of fire and brimstone here.
A couple of cocky customers get together here too. There's no doubt that Dean Treaster gets up and actually thought it was Luke Ricketson who came up with the high shot, but it was the number 7. They eventually sort each other out.
No, there's a bit of feeling in this one. It was built up towards the end of last season and carried off into the off-season as well.
Well, at the back end of last year, they met 3 times, and the Roosters won the 2 that mattered, including one here at Toyota that gave them the home ground advantage in the qualifying finals. Now Beattie to the 10-metre line. Treaster to the left of the ground for Graham, hands free, did well, didn't touch the ground with the ball. Peachy goes across, gets away from Fittler, tramples over the top of Cross, then he scurries away from another, gets it on to Bird, beautiful hands by Kent. Kent keeps it alive to Kamali, and he's tackled. 11 from the line. Bird for Peachy. Back he goes, and there's a ball gone forward. The advantage applies for Paul Cross, or Ryan Cross, I should say.
Gee, you can go back, Rabs.
Yeah, shut up. Freudian mistake, that's all it was. 22 metres out from the line. You're quick. Quicker in the box than you were on your feet. Fitzgibbon plays it. Now, Kyle. They rocked his foundations with a big tackle. Penalty to Cronulla. Man playing the ball wasn't facing goal.
And no surprise after getting hit by Sam Eismunger. He's in the 19. Classic shot with the shoulder. And that helped his side get a penalty. 25 out.
Beattie again. Inside 20. It's all happening here at Toyota Park. Sorry, Bill, but I had to use it. Eismunger. Centre of the ground. Treaster. Kamali. They press. And try to squeeze through a gap. Treaster in the 9. He's a good player. Has been for a long time. Graham. One of their star players attracting attention. To the blind. Bird! Bird's over! Reaches out with the right hand and puts it over the line, and the young Sharks, they love it.
And a good feel to this match already. Both sides hammer and tongs, and he does beautifully here, Greg Bird. Just stays alive. Little short side play, Treaster. It was good running by Bird to come back at the play the ball area. That opened up a little bit of a hole for him. He had to keep his head about him, and he did so well.
He's only a kid, Greg Bird, and he's one of his heroes growing up was Brad Fittler, and there's traces of Brad Fittler's game right through him. He's got the big right foot step, and he's pretty skillful as well. That's a great start to the game.
And as I said in commentary, the young Sharks, they went up. One of the younger idols for them, Greg Bird, in the 6th shirt for Cronulla, has been worn by some very good footballers. Matthew, the most recent. I remember, I think Panda Andrews might have worn it many years ago, or was it Chris Wellman, one of those?
Oh, many.
Here is the kick. Doesn't look just offline. I thought for a moment it was going to be okay. Andrew Voss sideline.
Yeah, big show of confidence too from Chris Anderson. Greg Bird with the kicking duties first up here today. Matt Johns mentioned that one of his heroes being Brad Fittler. This is only the 5th time in the starting lineup for Greg Bird, and twice in those 5 games now he's been opposed to Brad Fittler. The other side, he looks the number 6. It's one of the best of all time.
6-4 the scoreboard. Crowd basking in that sunshine at the back of the league's club. As Fitzgibbon places it for the restart. They're just into a little breeze. It's sort of coming across the ground a little bit from the southeast as Fitzgibbon sends it down to Nick Graham, back on his 10. Beattie, up he goes, in he goes. Nothing too flash about him. He doesn't come wearing tuxedos. He just comes here with his sleeves rolled up, ready to get dirty.
They don't want to fool around too much down here, the Sharks. They just want to knock it up a few times, get a quick play of the ball, then get out of there.
Graham. Here's Bailey. Bailey playing left centre, wearing jumper 12. And then Kamali, there's a couple offside, including Bickerstaff and Stevens. Makes no difference. He's gone 10 metres now, Todd Byrne. 30-metre line. Own into the ground, leading by 2. And here is one of the players of the season thus far, Minicello. He plays it, and away goes Paya. That's Lalea Paya in the 3. Back now for Fitzgibbon. Kalis. Well, they broke them with Craig Wing leading to that try in the early part of the game, but since then it has been rock-like. There's no chinks in the Cronulla armour now. He got a shot off them, or shot on them early, didn't he, Craig Wing? Now they've tightened up the belt. Peachy. Back on the 20-metre line now. They're on the eastern side of this ground.
Yeah, both coaches and both sides would be disappointed in conceding what they would consider soft tries in the opening period. Simple bust by Wing and good support play. And then Bird reaching out through what should have been stronger defence on their line.
Something to notice, guys, the Sharks are relying on a lot of dummy half running. The thing about the Roosters, that with their up and in defence, they like the confrontation. The dummy half running will be frustrating them.
Kamali keeps it low, like a 3-iron. He's punched it low, and Minicello comes slicing back. 30 away as Paya, a dummy half, uses Ryan Cross, and oh, gee, Beattie. He went what I thought was a tad high, but nothing said. Now Craig Wing picking up Cusack, and again they meet him and they put him down heavily. Eismunger up top. Ricketson now approaching the halfway line. The pressure extreme, the tension is there in the opening exchanges, with the Roosters leading by 2. 6-4 if you've just joined us on 9 Sunday football. Youngquest will bring it back off his 20. He'll make 10 metres before being tackled 30 metres out from his own line, and he's lost the ball. Harrigan will put a scrum down. This will be good for the Sydney Roosters cause.
Bill Harrigan's a bit keen for the video referee just to have a look at anything that happens in this play. Cronulla Sharks are claiming it was a high shot, and also the ball may have been raked out, but I don't think they're going to get any joy.
So the road ahead, Cronulla plays the Storm away again, and the Sydney Roosters play the Cowboys away. That's in the week that follows. 30 metres out from the opponent's line as Morley takes it down 10 metres out, or 20 metres out and 10 metres in from touch. Here is Hodges across, picking up Cusack. He was looking back, he had the ball free, but there was nobody supporting. Now Finch goes off his left foot, and a penalty goes to the Roosters. Right in front, he was playing an advantage, Harrigan, and now he's given them a cosy penalty.
He does that well, Bill Harrigan. I love seeing referees play advantage. We've said before, the players appreciate it, and the Roosters showing how they believe this game will unfold. It'll be a tight one. Really didn't have any other decision than taking the two.
Fitzgibbon just looking at the replay there in slow-mo. Harrigan, he had them absolutely cold, and then held it until he had to give the penalty. Now Fitzgibbon kicking into a breeze that's turned around a little bit, blowing pretty much straight into Craig at the moment, but he's only 11 metres out from the uprights. He boots it. The flags go up. There's another 2 to the Sydney Roosters, and they kick out to lead by 4. Early days, though, Toyota in Sunday football. A chance to win $1,000. I'll give you the SMS number very shortly for Phil Gould's MVP for Nutrigrain. We'll do that in a moment, so get your pens and papers ready. Here is Cusack. Wing now, using Kalis, and Kalis tackle inside his 20-metre line. So for Nutrigrain, you can win $1,000 if you match up with Phil Gould's most valuable player from the game. The SMS number 0428 123 999, 0428 123 999. Entries close noon tomorrow, and the winner announced on the Sunday footy show. Fittler kicks off his own 30-metre line, and that big boot sending it down to bounce on the 20-metre line, and then David Peachey brings it away. They go down the ground in one line, and Peachey did a lot of running. Then he got the ball away to Youngquest on the right side. Finch it is that makes the tackle. Kamali back to halfway. Catch and pass Bickerstaff, taken by Graham. Graham plays it back for Kamali. Kamali trying to trap somebody who was offside. He very nearly did. Nearly got a penalty as Bailey plays it. Treaster gives it. Kamali passes the ball. Franze loses the ball.
Well, David Peachey, he does cover some miles, and what he does here is create an overlap, which is quite remarkable when you consider the amount of chases. Really, Justin, in fact, it should have been Lalea staying out, came in. And then the mistake late in the tackle count. Todd Burney came up with an important tackle only moments earlier, forces a mistake.
One thing about Brett, I think sometimes less is better. If you can just let the go forward go a little bit longer, he can get to the line easier, much easier.
Come on.
Roosters, 5 metres their own side of halfway, play centre ground. Fitzgibbon. And 3 of the Sharks combining to pull him down. Beattie and Graham, 2 of their more senior members. Wing giving it to Cross away to Paya, back on the inside. Oh, the pass was ill-directed. Craig Wing was away. Sharks then strike back with Bickerstaff. A good pass and he's home, Craig Wing. Too far in front of him, but he was only 16 metres from the line, and there was no opposition in front of him. This is Jason Kent partnering Bailey in the centres. Stevens goes up and turns side on and loses the ball. Now Bill Harrigan thinks there's a problem.
Have a look at this one, Whitey.
He's asking the video ref to have a look at it. Stevens is in trouble.
Well, it's hard to see if there was anything in that tackle. Luke Ricketson didn't seem to take him high. Let's have a look at another angle here. Maybe he does cop him on the chin. Morley comes over.
No, it's around the shoulder. Yeah. In fact, I saw Stevens look up when Bill Harrigan blew the whistle, and then he sunk back to the ground, Jason. There's nothing in it, really. I'm sure Beattie hit somebody with one that was no worse earlier and nothing was said.
I just get the feeling that the Sharks had to be a little bit more patient with the ball. They're trying to go too sideways, a trap they got caught into last week.
Jason, you get your arms up over the top. You'll come in nice and gentle. I see that sort of thing again. I'll pull you straight out.
Okay. So I don't know that Stevens has taken much notice of him, or Beattie on this side. Here's Minicello trying to break them open. 40 metres away from the Sharks line. It is the Roosters leading by 4, and Morley will play the ball 35 metres out from Cronulla's line. They're defending the southern end of the ground, and here's Kalis. Oh, good ball by Jason Kalis. Fittler gets it on to Fitzgibbon. Fitzgibbon beautifully tackled by Kent. Plays it on the 30-metre line. Fittler is with the ball. Now it's Wing, and Wing is taken down by Treestup. Again, there's a question on the tackle. Now it's out to Finch. He goes to the 20-metre line, comes through the other side, and has still got the ball rather miraculously. There's a number or two on the right. They go towards Hodges. Hodges on in. Hodges is over. Another try for the Sydney Roosters. And Brett Finch, again a starring role.
A very good decision here to run the ball on the last tackle. We see here in the lead-up play, the offload, and a nice tackle out wide eventually, but as they come on the last tackle, and it comes to the right, as we freeze it there, you can see that this man allows his player to get on the outside, and as play continues, that will create an overlap. Justin Hodges, well, he had support on his outside, didn't need the winger. Good option, 5th tackle.
Yeah, I just feel like, guys, the problem with the Sharks there was the speed of the previous two play the ball. So they were always caught short of the last. Phil Bailey, well, that close to the line, Hodges is always going to be a handful. And if you're too far inside him, it's good night.
And there he is, the try scorer, Justin Hodges, appearing to be a young man enjoying his football. What a roller coaster he was on, though, during those mishaps in the Origin. Amazing that he was able to get it all back together, and he has, and Ricky Stewart's very happy that he has. Now Fitzgibbon from a metre in from touch. It's online. Is the length there? You know it's fallen short. So it falls short with the Roosters leading by 8 now. Andrew on the sideline.
And Ray, I guess a few fans are surprised to see Phil Bailey playing out in the centres today, number 12 on his back, but playing in the centres. The Sharks actually did trial him there at the start of this year when they went over to New Zealand to play the Warriors, so he does have a start at centre under his belt, but you'd have to say inexperienced in that position.
It was a very difficult kick from Bird for Todd Byrne to take. Eventually got it in, but that breeze was coming from directly behind the kicker, and it was swirling around. Here's Hodges again, proving an elusive target. Back on the 20-metre line. No changes made by the Sharks at this time. One by the Roosters. And they work it up the middle. And talking of the one by the Roosters, that is Chad Robinson on in jumper 16.
And Ray, the Roosters have so much flexibility when it comes to their interchange. In fact, 4 of their forwards last week played the full 80 minutes. That's their fullback row, Fitzgibbon, Morley and Ricketson, along with Craig Wing. That allows you to do some wonderful things with your other players.
Here's Youngquist fielding the kick from Brad Fittler. Just prior to that kick, I saw Craig Wing taken down over the top by Beattie. Beattie's hitting like a hammer. Legitimate stuff, and they must be hurting. He's really hitting hard, particularly in the tackle over the top. Here he is with the ball now, and they go in and they put him down, a gang tackle. 3 of the Roosters hitting simultaneously, dominating completely. Kamali back to the blind. Peachy gives a chance pass out to Franze, and he is tackled 32 metres out from the Roosters line. That is tackle 5 now for the Sharks, and Peachy is with the ball, but the referee has seen a knock on.
Franze
There must have been a problem in the play the ball, Pete.
Yeah, Franze just loses it. Many of Sharks fans here believe that there was interference from Todd Byrne, but I think you do have to blame the ball carrier.
Arms over the top, second
So
rows all the
just
way
as
in, locks behind.
Sharks had a chance to mount some pressure.
No one breaks early.
Keep in mind it was the last tackle anyway. Now Finch. Long torpedo ball out for Fittler, and Minicello comes into his back line. They thrust him to the ground, but they didn't secure the tackle. Now he plays the ball, and they come outside the 40-metre line with Paya. There could have been another try for the Roosters had Paya given a better pass to Craig Wing some 7 or 8 minutes back in the game. Fitzgibbon a few metres on the Shark side of halfway. No knock on there. Fittler gives it across for Chad Robinson. And 40 metres out from the Cronulla line, the Roosters running from the northern end, from the bay end. Fittler's let the ball, well, he didn't let it go, but he lost it forward, and Bickerstaff dived on it for the Sharks. Now the crowd roaring for a penalty. They're claiming the Roosters were inside the 10 as Kent plays the ball. Here is Bird, and Bird, he put on the sidestep and he ran straight into Luke Ricketson. Now Kamali tries to get them going. Bailey goes down the left side. 40 away from the Roosters line. Stevens chimes in. He gets it to the 30-metre line. They're 20 metres in from touch on the western side. Treaster gives it back for Graham. Graham gives it over to Kamali. Kamali darts away, puts it back for Peachy. Peachy takes it with one hand. Now he stands and he delivers. Eismunger's with the ball. They're 30 metres out. They're 20 metres in from touch, and they get a penalty.
You're still over the top of him. You're still on top of him.
Yeah, what do you do here? You trail by 8. You've got the wind at your back. You know the ball will go dead. A successful shot will put you a converted try behind. That's the way they opt.
Yeah, the Roosters are a hard side to play when you're chasing points. They play field position so well. The Sharks have just got to be patient and make sure they're in this game with 10 to go.
Next Friday night, of course, one of the season's blockbusters. The Knights versus the Dogs. There are many people who think these two clubs will play the grand final. Well, there's a rehearsal for it next Friday at 8:30 at Energy Australia. The Johns mob taking on the Dogs. It'll be a great match.
I reckon anybody who was there last year when Hazem El Masri put it out from the sideline will be queuing up again on Friday night.
Now, Bird from 30 metres out, and he's just squeezed it away again. So it's gone dead, and we'll take a break. The Roosters by 8 at Toyota Park. Welcome back. Toyota Park, you're watching the Telstra Premiership game in round 4 between the Sharks of Cronulla and the Roosters of Sydney. And the replacements in 17 and 14 about to come on. Nutley and Hilda for the Sharks, and another mistake. Just dropped it cold, and they are not going to build the pressure that's required to beat this mob. If they keep making mistakes like this. Finch to the open side. Fittler, then Minicello living in his back line. Crosses with the ball, a groan from the crowd. Fitzgibbon is there, and he'll play the ball on the Sharks' 40-metre line as they come away with Paya.
That's Chad Robinson out there for the Roosters in jersey 16, playing at 32 out as wing again down the short side using Ryan Cross.
18 metres out from the line. Stevens buckles him over. Wing then to Finch. Finch on to Fittler. Fittler on there. Damali, beautiful ball. Wing away for Hodges. Hodges for Byrne. And Todd Byrne scores. That was just picture perfect. That was lovely stuff from the Roosters.
It's a very well constructed try, and Anthony Minicello again featuring strongly, and you'd love to be in this State of Origin squad name tomorrow as they come wide and we freeze it there. Just have a look at this running into that hole by Anthony Minicello, that player there, and as play continues, have a look how that creates the overlap. All of a sudden the man on the outside for Cronulla has to come in to take Minicello, who's appeared, and then it was a simple draw and pass from Justin Hodges to put Byrne over. Great change in the angle.
Yeah, they might have been down last week against the Panthers, but they're executing beautifully today. Just a little inside ball, and they got caught short again from mobility to the Sharks. 2-on-1 at the end there, and Justin Hodges just done it so easy.
Just on that squad, Ray, 33 named tomorrow by the New South Wales selectors, and you have a look at some of the contests. Minicello up against Peachy. It may well be that clash that grabs the number 1 jersey for New South Wales.
No doubt about it. I don't know that Brett Hodgson has had a chance to show his wares, so you're probably looking at the two main candidates at this point in time. They're on display out here. Fitzgibbon then. This one has got the length, it's got the direction, and it's got the height. It's got the three necessary ingredients, in other words, and they boot away. They're 18 points to 4, and they're looking like the defending premiers, aren't they?
Ray, I can tell you when Todd Byrne went across the line, everyone on the bench was on their feet clapping except for that man, Ricky Stewart, who just took it in his stride, and yet he was the man probably most responsible. A beautifully executed set play from the Roosters.
Andrew, it was one of the most beautifully executed tries you'll see. It probably is practiced ad nauseum at training, and when it comes off like that, I guess everybody gets a thrill. As you said, though, Ricky Stewart, he sat there like a block of granite with the Wayne Bennett look. Now Fitzgibbon. Inside the 10 from Harrigan. And one thing about it, the crowd is not refereeing Bill Harrigan at the moment. They've been appealing for penalties for inside the 10 against the Roosters, but Harrigan has really, I won't say hammered Cronulla, but he's been very strict on the 10 for them. As Kalis goes on, and Cusack comes off, and this ball has travelled forward, so they too can make a mistake. And Craig Wingett was trying to involve his captain, but the captain wasn't aware it was coming, and even that made no difference. The ball was thrown forward by Craig Wing.
No, wait, put your head in.
They've got a dynamic duo out there, haven't they, Finch and Wing? And you add that to the mix with Fittler, and you've got something potent. Here is Kamali, backed up there by the 17. Matt Hilder is out there for the Sharks. They're 35 away. They're going down the eastern side of the ground. Young Quest played back for Treester to give it on to Kamali. He turns it away for Nutley on the inside, and Nutley is tackled and put down by Robinson. Treester away for Kamali. Peachy is with the ball. He tries to go back, and he gets the ball to Stevens. Stevens decides to take the defence on, and Brett Finch makes the tackle. And now it is Treester. Oh, he ran into Morley. Treester's okay. Thought he might have collided awkwardly there with Morley, the much bigger man, Kamali. There's a chance for Graham. Oh, Finch has come out of nowhere to shut it down. That's very good work by Brett Finch. Almost certainly saving a try. Roosters coming off their own line now, and the younger of the Kalis brothers picking it up this year where he left it last year. Here's a lovely run by Craig Wing. He had about 15 metres in it. But he is playing very well, Jason Kalis. I mean, Nathan's playing well too, but once upon a time you didn't use their names in the same breath. I'll tell you what they are these days. Finch puts a kick down the ground. Franze goes across. Oh, the bounce. The bounce beat him, and then he slipped as well. He recovered. And the 17 is out there, Crocker. Peachy then across the ground, finding Bird. Cross goes across to hurt him back in field, and Bird will play the ball, tackled by Payer.
And a number of times this afternoon, the Sharks have shown how to deal with this defence of the Roosters that does come in and at you. If you've got some vision, you can create space on the outside. Peachy's done it on a few occasions. They've just got to keep faith in that, and eventually the opportunities will come. Good play the ball.
Hilder it was. Lost by Treester. A scrum will pack 15 metres away from the Roosters' line.
But the Sharkies just have to hold their nerve here. I just get the feeling they're chasing points too quickly. They're a team that if they lay a good base, they do score points quick at the back end of games. They've just got to keep trust.
Chris Speedy waiting to come back into the game. Dean Treester not prepared to accept the fact that it was all his fault. Lovely day here on the southern shores of Botany Bay, and not such a bad crowd with the Roosters out there with this, I was going to say commanding lead, but that's not the case, is it, anymore in rugby league? 14 points, you can't feel comfortable with that. Here's Finch working, and he got the ball away to Crocker. Crocker is about 12 metres short of halfway. They're backpedaling the Sharks. Hodges goes up to try and hit them. while they're vulnerable. Minicello stands, gives the ball to Wing. Wing gets it across and back to Crocker. Crocker is tackled inches on the Cronulla side of halfway. And there's a penalty. It goes to the Roosters.
Bill Harrigan saying to the tacklers there, they weren't dominant, so they weren't entitled to try and turtle him, put him on his back to slow it down any further.
Robinson in 16. The offload is there for Michael Crocker. He can't take it. Beattie dives on it for Cronulla.
Roll back to the line, to the line.
Little loose ball there, and the Sharks come up with it. And again, the crowd baying, begging for a penalty, and they get it. Inside the 10 against the Sydney Roosters. And Kamali finding the line on the eastern side of the ground. This is Danny Nutley. He was one of their key figures last year. Here is Kamali now. Away for Matt Hilda, that is, in 17. They're in the middle of the ground. They're about 25 metres out from the line that matters. Here's Kamali. 16 is out there for them as well. That's Bosnich, and they lose the ball. Well, how many times is that, Matthew, that they have made these basically unforced errors? 3 of them I can remember.
Just can't do it against the Roosters, Ray. It's one thing you have to do against the Roosters. You've got to dominate ball possession. They haven't done that today. It's going to take an enormous effort from here.
There's no hint of a steal. It may have come off a knee, but that's the problem with the ball carrier. You can't blame the defence for that. Fittler then finds himself at acting half, and Fitzgibbon around the corner ball. Cross gets it back for a following Minicello, and he will play the ball 10 metres from halfway. Played back to Paya, and Paya gets another 10 metres for his team. He will play the ball right on halfway. We're about 7 minutes from half-time as Fittler gets a pass on to Jason Kalis, who loses it. And Bosnich has been told to play the ball for the Sharks. Bailey a dummy half. Well, how many markers and how far must you be from the man playing the ball? I thought directly in front. It looked like they had 3 markers there, the Roosters. That's why the crowd was roaring. Now Kamali. Now he gives it back for Peachy. There's nowhere to go. Peachy then decides he'll try and circle them before using Bosnich. Treaster, Kamali, Graham, cuts out Bailey. Franze is with it. He is tackled 10 metres out from the line and close to the western touchline. Played back for Bailey, and now for Kamali to the line, and around the legs is Robinson. Wingers over the top. This is the last tackle. Finch has done remarkably well. He was fielding bat pad, basically, took the catch and passed it in one action.
Yeah, Dean Treaster put the kick through there. It's very rare for Brett Kamali to allow himself to be tackled on the last. And then Brett Finch, great awareness, presence of mind, cool under pressure. As Justin Hodges, he's nailed in front of his own posts.
Wing offloading for Fittler, and Fittler is hammered into the ground. Beattie coming in, third man over the top. Bosnich was the original tackler. Ryan Cross tries to break them. Fitzgibbon is with him. Now it goes away. Minicello, the speedster. He's going down that left touchline. He's running away from them. Minicello scores another try for the Roosters. Cross made a break. Fitzgibbon was there. And then it was Minicello. 22-4, length of the field try.
And the Roosters have great plays out of dummy half. As we see, Ryan Cross get through the line, and then Craig Fitzgibbon onto Anthony Minicello, who nearly dropped that one, but he had too much speed for Greg Bird. But it came from a simple dummy half play. They get their players going across onto a man on the fly straight, and that creates a gap. And look at that hand share from Minicello. What a season. He's continuing on from last year.
Yeah, he's just been one of the success stories. Look at him there, head back, bearing his molars to the breeze as he's just striding out. But he's been just I mean, Fittler and Fitzgibbon got a lot of raps for the end of the season last year, but Hodges, Haggerty and Minicello, well, they're just great players as well.
And again, not far out from half-time. It's a crucial time to be scoring points. And Rossi pointed out that Ricky Stewart wasn't getting too excited down on the sideline. He probably watched John Lang agonise over the last half hour of his side's match last night. But, gee, this is a good lead.
20 out and 20 in from touch for Fitzgibbon to convert their 4th try. 22-4. And he's played again magnificently, Fitzgibbon. He's a great support player. He raises the flags. Jason Stevens, his face probably illustrates the feeling in the Sharks camp at the moment. But back to Fitzgibbon, how well is he playing? 24-4, the Roosters over the Sharks. Bird. Finch sending Kalis back at them.
Up now, quickly, here.
Sharks' chase on the kick was good. They nailed him only 5 metres out from the line. Robinson taken by Kamali, gets the ball away to wing away to Kalis. All this is happening inside their own 10-metre line.
Yeah, Ray, as the Roosters try and get out from their own danger end, can I just raise a point? If the molars are bared to the breeze, your mouth will probably have to be open and maybe not even a mouth guard in place. So I do have a question mark over that.
I'm a big Jack Styring fan still. I don't remember that.
So Andrew on the sideline as Fittler makes a half break down on the 30-metre line.
Ray, I'll tell you where the Roosters have backed the winner in this first 40 minutes. Their decision to run into the breeze in this first half, because I'll tell you right now, the breeze is a lot stronger now than it was at the start of the match. So the Roosters are going to be in a great position to achieve field position off the boot in the second half.
And Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, it has, if you like, come more from the back of Cronulla now too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right over the shoulder. The Roosters with Fittler and with Finch and Wing in the second half, they've got plenty of kicking options there. They are in the box seat with this lead.
24-4 the score. A 20-point buffer. Peachy using his blind side, and that's Nick Graham. Peachy a dummy half. I don't know that David Peachy's 100%. I saw him getting some treatment from a trainer after one of the tries. He was lying on the ground and the trainer was working on the hamstrings, I think. Might have been a calf muscle, but I'm not sure that David Peachy's 100%. Here's Kamali with a chip and a chase and looking for the regather. Up they come, Minicello. He's got the ball. Turns them around. 25 out from his own line, he's tackled. Kamali trying to do something. Higher. Just inside his own 40-metre line. So as Andrews rightly pointed out, we'll turn around in a couple of minutes from now, and this breeze more emphatic than it was at the start, and the Roosters don't need any favours. They lead by 20, but they're going to be given another favour by the elements. Here's Wing, and now Finch, and Bailey's in a bit of trouble. Crocker, that little juggle, that little hesitation helped Cronulla. They are still in defence, though, just on their own side of halfway. Hodges taken by Beattie, and they surge in. Nutley in 14, Graham in 13. And Craig Wing with 60 seconds remaining, offloading to Brett Finch, and that might nearly soak up the available time. So they've scored 4 tries coming up to the break, and there's been some lovely tries. The one scored by Todd Byrne was their best. Finch scored at the 3rd minute, Hodges the 17th, Byrne at the 25th, Minicello at the 35th, length of the field, and Bird scored the Cronulla try at the 7th minute. 24-4. Fitzgibbon's kicked 4 from 5, and Bird none from 2, as Bill Harrigan ushers them in field. Clock has stopped with 12 seconds of the first half remaining.
Heads down. Hold.
This is repeating that the Warriors beat the Rabbitohs earlier today in New Zealand. Frenzy under that tackle as the siren sounds for the end of the half. And comprehensive, the Roosters. 24-4. 4 tries to 1. As the players go for a break, we'll go for a break and be back for the second half at Toyota in just a moment.
Brad Fittler brings his side back out onto Toyota Park with a commanding lead, 24 points to 4 over the Sharks. Nice performance in the first 40 minutes and some wonderful tries scored. Ricky Stewart will be very happy, although they did make some mistakes. And after conceding an early try to the Sharks, they really have dominated most parts of this match, as the statistics show. Line break 6-1. It's reflected on the scoreboard. Twice as many missed tackles for the home team and not enough possession, just 44% up against the Roosters 56. As we have a look at the possession flow, remembering that the black columns are what you want to avoid. They're the error columns. The Sharks, a lot of short black columns, especially in the middle of that first half there. They even started the game poorly 3 times. They've had the football 3 times there early on and made mistakes on 2 occasions. Well, we have a look at the Roosters. A lot of tall red columns. You can see the tries. They're the white ones. That period really hurt the opposition. And although you can see some black columns there, they really have been way ahead of their opposition in that department.
Fitzgibbon placing the ball for the restart. And a much stronger breeze than at the start of the day behind the Roosters. Morley, 9 test matches for Great Britain, back on the bench at the moment.
Stay behind, fellas.
Cusack is there with him. As we go into the second half under the guidance of Bill Harrigan, and it is the Sharks with all of the work to do. Maybe there was a mention of Canberra and their comeback against Penrith last night, mentioned at the halftime break for the Sharkies. It can be done, but this is not the unit that you want to be giving 20-point start to, as Treaster plays the ball and Graham offloads for Bosnich. He will play the ball just on his own side of the halfway mark. Here is Kamali, allowed to run free almost before being taken down by Michael Crocker. Here is Graham, who puts the kick in, and a bounce is good for him, and Graham gets the bounce, but it's gone to ground. It's loose there, and the Roosters have got it. That would have been the start that the Sharks so badly wanted, and Bigora, I thought they were going to get it. Look at this, the cards fell in their lap.
Let him up now, Chris, get off.
Fittler goes from the left side of the ruck and operates on the right before he gave the ball to Crocker, and Crocker is dived upon by Bailey. Back on their own 20-metre line, and Craig Wynn shoots a kick down the ground, down the eastern side. The rolling ball picked up by Youngquest. He uses the other winger, Franze. Here's a break made by Franze, carrying them down to the 40-metre line again. Sharks attacking with Kamali turning it back for the 17 is Matt Hilda. Now they're 25 out, now they're 20 out. That's Nutley, or is it Bosnich? Bosnich it was. They go down the short side again. Graham. They're 8 metres away from the line. Can they be the first to score second half? Beattie does a pirouette. Ellis holds him up with Robinson. Then Kamali across and wide, but it's far too wide. It'll come back to the 20 for the restart. Andrews back from the sheds.
Yeah, very interesting words from Ricky Stewart at half-time. Here was pretty much the message, Ricky, to his players. I don't care if we don't score another point in this match as long as they don't. He wants a professional half of football, no clocking off, play for field position. And the Sharks, I think, from Chris Anderson and Brett Kamali. Brett Kamali had a lot to say to his team at half-time as well. They started to question their commitment. I think if there is self-belief in the players in their second half, they might come back and at least make a game of it, the Sharks.
Ricketson hammered in defence.
Well, the Sharks are on 2 competition points, of course, but that does come from a bye. And they remain one of only 3 sides that recorded victory on the field, both Manly and South Sydney. have failed to do so. When you start a season, that is not what you're looking for. You're looking to be 4 to 5 wins out of your first half dozen games.
Finch's kick, maybe not the kick that he was looking for. Peachy was able to pick it up, and David seemingly keen to offload and send other runners back rather than having a feel of them himself.
Well, I actually think Ray's moved to the wing and Youngquest has gone to fullback, so obviously David Peachy is not 100% fit out there.
So this is Bird now, just short of halfway. And Hilda goes up, and then Fittler picks him up and puts him down. No damage done, although it might have looked as though it was a little bit dangerous. Nutley playing it as they drive this attack down for Kamali to put a kick in. Here's Minicello. They're after him, and Minicello goes back to the 20-metre line before taking the tackle. Playing it back for Michael Crocker. And across they go to Finch, and then it's gone on to Byrne, and Byrne will play the ball 25 metres out from his own line. They're running away from that southern end of the ground. Finch again. I didn't realise until seeing more of him with the Roosters than I did with Canberra. He's a much bigger number 7 than I thought he was. His wing to the halfway line. I mentioned it earlier though, Wing and Finch and Fittler, it'll take them a long way if they stay injury free. That trio of rugby league talent. Peachy then. And by now I'm pretty sure that the Roosters are fully aware that Peachy's not well, and even though a fit David Peachy is a good bloke to stay away from, now they might be driving much of their armament towards David Peachy. 20 points the break. Nothing has happened since half time, even though they had a very good chance. Cronulla, played by Nutley, and here is Bailey. Good ball by Bailey. Kamali couldn't get it away before he was wrapped up by Ryan Cross. They keep coming down the right side. Bird's kick has gone off the outside edge of the boot and out over the touchline. So that will see a scrum or a turnover come back just on the Rooster side of halfway.
Very effective tackle there from Ryan Cross. He was shaping to pass Brett Kamali, but Cross was able to just grab the arm, not allow him to do so.
Yeah, Ray, you mentioned young Finch there. He's got a lot of options with the ball. I just get the feeling he offers the Roosters a little bit of something different. Takes a lot of pressure off Brad Fittler.
Wing. Cross. Oh, gee, that's a great take by Finch. Morley is back in action in the second half, and he's backing. He's reversing his way down the ground. 30-metre line, centre of the ground. Fittler goes across, puts the kick in. He's looking for Hodges. Youngquest is under pressure, but he comes through it okay. Fittler peppering the youngster over there. So they're coming out of that corner with Bailey, who got a good ball away a couple of minutes ago, didn't he? Here's Bird shrugging away a tackler, then Kamali, then Peachy. Now they come out to Kent and the centres, and Kent will go to ground tackle on his own 30-metre line.
I know you've got to establish something in the middle of the ruck, Ray, but that's how I think you've got to take the Roosters on. You've got to look to go around them after doing that bit of work in the middle. Too many inside passes, they don't work. This is where they're dangerous. Get on the outside.
Franze. He's on the outside of them, all right. And then the tackle has been made over there by Ricketson. May well have saved the try. Beattie. Short ball. Here's a good chance for Hilda. Here's Peachy. David gets it away. Beattie's over. Ah, go on, Chris. Have a celebration. Doesn't happen very often. The Sharks are in.
Yeah, good on you, Chris Beattie, just to be there after this movement has travelled about 80 metres. And I think that the Sharks might learn from this, that they do have to take a bit of a chance and look to get around the defence. Great work there from Franze. And then to play the ball, lovely little short pass coming up now. That was the money ball for mine. Hilda, a flick pass to David Peachy, the big step to beat Minicello. And Chris Beattie, the front row, he's travelled 80 metres to be there.
Yeah, great effort. As you said before, Sterling, a lot of expansive movement in there, and Chris Beattie getting across the line. When Big Beach gets across, you know it's time to change your calendar.
Bird from close range, but you need to be into this breeze. He's only 11 metres out, just off centre, plugs it across.
So there's a converted try for the Sharks. 24-10 is the score in 9 Sunday football.
As we welcome you back to our telecast on the 9 network of the #1 football match on a Sunday afternoon this weekend. And Cronulla coming back. Scored the only try in the second half. It could have been a couple of tries for them. They've lost the ball. Now Morley spins around, and immediately the Roosters will attack from 20 metres out from the Sharks line. Kalis inside the 10. Wing. Fittler running a decoy. Ricketson. Good defence by the Sharks, including Beattie and Bird. Wing again. Running into the defence before getting rid of it. Minicello finds himself at first receiver. This will be interesting. Here he is. He's only there as a link. No, throws the dummy, takes the tackle. Ricky Stewart won't be happy with the last 3 plays. Now it's gone out to Brad Fittler. They got numbers on the right. Finch comes in from the back. Hodges stands. Can he offload? He can. Finch comes back. Half circles them. Goes through a tackle. Pulled down from behind. Bosnich was the tackler. 5 tackles gone. Now Craig Wingers with it again. Goes through the gap. Puts the ball over the line. And Craig Wing has scored try 5.
Well, the Sharks might have been on the way back, but this mistake from Paul Franze, who did so well in setting up their opening 4-pointer to this half, has seen his side concede a try. And again, it's just a staggered defence close to their line on the last tackle. Craig Wing, no need to dive for Craig Wing from there, from marker. Just trail across and make sure your line is straight. But he is explosive from that area.
Well, he certainly is. No possession is really hurting the Sharks today. A lot of tired forwards out there. When your forwards are tired, Craig Wing will just take you apart. Thought the markers were fairly poor there, and again on the back of a couple of quick play the balls.
Craig Fitzgibbon. Easy kick for Craig. Hits it. Further 2 points go on the board. Here's the fresh scoreboard coming up. 30-10, the Roosters over the Sharks. And Andrew's been keeping a close eye on Craig Wing from out of dummy half. Andrew.
Yeah, after that try, we're on the eve of New South Wales announcing a 30-man squad for the State of Origin series this year. And I'm sure the New South Wales selectors impressed with what they've seen from Craig Wing this year. Of course, he's had an injury-plagued start to the year out of the trials and then out of the World Club Challenge, but he's back on song today. I think having played Test football end of last year, he's a big hope for breaking into Origin this season.
Kalis. And here's Morley. You know, for a big man, he's tremendously fast and he's very light on his feet. He's a real talent. Here's Fitzgibbon. Wing. Out from dummy half. And again, another of his qualities. The ability to kick out of there.
I love seeing class overseas players. There's a good tackle there from Todd Byrne. In our competition, it does take you back to the days of the Malcolm Reilly, Steve Nortons, Phil Lowe, Gary Stevens. I think they were great acquisitions, and Morley, well, he's been the best for a while.
I was a Balmain supporter growing up Stirling. There's nothing better when Ellery Hanley, Gary Schofield, all those guys come through. They just add that little bit of something different.
This is Bosnich. Friday night, of course, as I pointed out, one of the box office hits of the year. Knights versus Dogs. Friday at 8:30 on your Rugby League channel. Rugby League Network on 9. As Kamali gets it away, then went out, and Bailey got a ball away. Now it's loose on the ground. This will be play on, I think, in favour of the Roosters. And talking of Morley, he's got the football. Kalis then hammers it across halfway. Now it's out to Fittler. And then it is with Fitzgibbon. That's loose and a chance. Now that ball, well, I've got to say, I thought the ball actually went backwards and then bounced forward, and that is permissible. Just watch this. Here it goes. It goes back from Fitzgibbon's hands, lands on its point and bounces forward. That is permissible.
Yeah, it is, Ray. One thing surprising about this game, they're both highly disciplined units, and it has been a fairly sloppy match. Both sides have given their opposition sides a little bit of opportunity.
Peter rattled off some of the great Englishmen that have come down here. He mentioned Phil Lowe. My God, he was big and fast. I don't know that he hammered in defence like this bloke does, though, Morley. Here's Peachy now, crossing the halfway line before linking up with... Is that Nutley? No, that's Bosnich. This is Hilda. Some of the younger breed coming through at Cronulla. They had a cull at the end of last year, and now we've got names like the Roosters about to use the bench. As Kamali fires the ball out. There's a chance here for the Roosters. No, they can't. They can't get clean ball. Kamali comes back, rifles it out. Bird, he had to take a look on the right. He goes back and away from Kent, over on his right.
That's zero tackle. Tackle count restarted when it was touched by Todd Burns. So an opportunity here with tackles up their sleeve. That's the first.
Now from Bosnich. Out to Peachy. It's one-on-one out there as Graham gives it back to Peachy. Now he's starting to outnumber them, but Bailey opts to come back towards the traffic. 10 metres out from the line. Here they go. Now hitting the short side. And it'll be played there by Franze. Now from Bailey. Then to Kamali. On to Peachy. Peachy's pass intercepted. It is Ryan Cross. He is a speedster. They're coming after him. Cross. He changes angle. Kent's got him. Well, if Cross is fast, Kent is faster. Great foot race. Now the Roosters. They're waving. They're directing traffic. We want the ball. It's Wing coming back and away from them. Beats another. Tackle the meter out.
Let him out, let him out.
Players out on the right with no opposition waving for it.
Now, if they go to the right, you'd think they should. Well, they've done well to get up quickly.
Fittler now. He comes back and is tackled 2 metres out from the line.
Wing. Ricketson. He knows where to go. Finch is with the ball. Morley's got the ball. Minicello's pass. It went forward. The Sharks miraculously are out of the net.
Yes, well, this is a danger in trying to go wide, of course, is the intercept. Ryan Cross, don't forget, he's had a knee reconstruction and a broken leg, so he's got every right to have maybe lost a metre. Still a good chase there from Jason Kent. And then no excuse for this not to be a try. The outside men had to stay deeper, and that would have allowed the pass from Minicello to be delivered much more easily.
That's where they are. Down the bay end of the ground, over in that glove corner. It's a pretty ground to come to at Toyota. Scenic. Played by Bailey. Bad pass. Half volley take by Bird. Andrew sideline.
Yeah, you mentioned Tavita Matsuila. You had a shot of him warming up on the sideline. Well, he's still waiting here on the sideline. You imagine the nerves going through him. About to make his first grade debut. He was a member of that Jersey flag side that won the premiership last year. Getting a lot of dividends out of that side, the Roosters.
Treesa's hurt.
I reckon he'd be more nervous if it wasn't 30-10 in his side's favour.
Ooh, that might have stung Bosnich, that tackle. Yeah, he's down too. They've gone down like 9 pins.
One thing about the Sharks today, I think they played the ball too slow. The Roosters rely on high-energy football. That up-and-in style requires that. If they had to win this game, they had to dominate possession, they had to get forward, play the ball quick, and they've done none of that.
Oh, that's a sandwich. No wonder Dean Treester's still down.
Well, Devonhead.
So that's snapped the wind out of Dean Treaster. He's a tough little cookie. Isn't he, Matthew? You'd know better than I.
He's a pest, Ray. He's a pest, but everyone needs a pest. He's the sort of guy that charges down the kickers.
I've got to take a break, Matt. We'll be back in just a moment. The NRL Telstra Premiership. Today we are at Toyota Park. We're watching the Roosters blazing this trail of maybe premiership glory again. 30 points to 10 with one of their stars with the ball, Minicello. Morley goes up and goes back in, and then they drive him. 32 metres out from the line. Wing shows it, holds onto it, tries to bust them. And he goes down under the tackle of Nick Graham together with Chris Beattie, who got a try today. Here is Crocker, hammering it away down on that blind side to a point 12 metres out from the line. Now it's back and away to Fittler. Fittler on to Finch. Had a good game today, Brett Finch. He's able to get away from a tackle, shovels it away. Fitzgibbon did a Michael Cronin there. He didn't have time to catch it. He batted it along, and it came off for Ricketson. Now it's gone through from Payer to Finch, and Finch away to Peter.
That's Metasila.
Thank you,
His first touch in the top grade.
Metasila, thank you. Now it's from Wing, gone to Fittler. The kick is good, and they're in. Oh, beautiful. Oh, that is just beautiful. Todd Byrne has got a double. Fittler has never kicked it more accurately.
No, that's precision. Just gets over the Cronulla defender and lands in the arms of top. Look at that. It is inch perfect. Kicking into the breeze helps a little bit, but you still got to deliver.
Always a danger. You let Freddie Fittler into your line. Look at that. Almost off the hurl. Play for Manchester United, this bloke. They come through, and he's been impressive too, Byrne, since he's come into this Roosters side. He's got a great work ethic, and he's tough, like so many of these outside backs for the Roosters.
13th career try for Todd Byrne. It seems like he's only been with us 5 seconds, and he's already scored 13 tries. You couldn't come along at a better time, could you? A premiership year, and they've kept a very good team together. It's probably even a tad better than it was last year. Fittler's kick was just so delightful to watch. Fitzgibbon's got one of his hardest assignments now. We'll go in with him. 25 out, 3 in from the Leagues club side. Fitzgibbon hits it, and he's just got it out to the left. No goal for Fitzgibbon. 34 to 10, Andrew.
Ray, for the last 20 minutes of the match, it's a throwback for this man on screen. Luke Ricketson has moved to the centres now. I think I'm right in saying Luke Ricketson made his debut back in 91, the last game for the Fat Man out at Aussie Stadium, or back when it was called Sydney Football Stadium. He was playing the centres back then. It's been a fair while, though, since he's played in the centres in first grade.
Bird with a high kick. Chasers are after it. It was just a bit too long, though, and Minicello is with the ball. He's not just a speedster, Minicello. He's not just a try scorer. He's a tough little fellow. I've watched him taking some pretty vigorous tackles over the last 12 months or so, but they just can't seem to hurt him.
And I'm not going to mention how good he is under the high ball.
No, you leave him alone. I think you've wrapped him enough. Here's Payer. Almost to the halfway line. Look at the tackles. 207 for Cronulla, 162 for the Roosters. So they've made, or been required to make, only 75% of the effort in defence. And Metasila is with the ball now. This is the youngster that Vossi was talking about from the flag. And here's Minicello. He's kicking ahead for Hodges. Hodges is after it. And Youngquest is there to cover it up. Francis. Interchange. Cronulla halfway through theirs.
It's Ned Caddick making the tackle there in jersey 18. Remember, it's the first time we've seen him in action this afternoon, so Stewart has kept him until late as Bird finds Kent. He can't beat Fittler.
Peachy. And Stevens. Peachy almost playing a passenger's role out there at the moment. It's a shame, really, because he's just such a great... That's knocked on. That is knocked on, and Bill Harrigan agrees. So it'll be a turnover. Played in the middle of the ground by Cross, and Hodges has gone right through. Hodges is still going. Hodges stepping like a will-o'-the-wisp. Wing turns it back, and here is Caddick.
He gets it away to Craig Wing. Shovels away from Peachy. Now he goes back to the 10. Picks up Captain Courageous. He's over Fittler.
It's Byrne, Ray.
It's Todd Byrne, I beg your pardon, but that is 3 tries for the youngster.
Well, you've elevated into some status there.
Say that again.
The 5 does look like a 6, but it was good lead up again. Justin Hodges, they've moved Phil Bailey there to handle him, and really, they haven't got close to him on occasions. Ned Caddick, a big change in direction there, did well. And then Craig Wing, who I think is just about being their best this afternoon, explores across, puts it onto the chest of Todd Byrne. One thing about Todd Byrne, he plays on the wing, but he'll score a lot of tries infield because he'll come looking for opportunity.
What about Justin Hodges? Last year, that State of Origin, a lot of people thought he was going to be on the scrap heap. He's just elevated his game, and young Byrne was just giving him a rap, and he goes over again.
Freddie Byrne.
Freddie Byrne.
That's him.
Good player, Freddie Byrne.
Yeah.
And now Ricky getting a little bit excited on the sideline there, and good to see. Wouldn't have been happy with the lead that they gave up last week against the Penrith team. I think they led 16-4 at one stage and got rolled. This afternoon, really, the result has never been in doubt.
Fitzgibbon with an easy assignment. He's pushed it a little bit, but this time he's got the flags in the air. So let's have a look at the new scoreboard. 40 points to 10. The Roosters over the Sharks. Another look at the try, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, Ray, and Ricky Stewart up this time, and why not? Great skills, great class, great support play by the Roosters. But I think right now we can sort of try and gauge the leading contenders in the competition, just what we've seen in the last fortnight. Broncos, well, they clocked off in the second half of their match against the Sharks. The Bulldogs did likewise the other night. They got sloppy, but there's no sign of that here from the Roosters. This is great stuff.
Finch. Here's the take. And Finch, who was under pressure, had just lost it for a second, got it back in. And we're back with them 30 metres out from their own line now. And it is Caddick losing the ball. Cusack diving on it, knock on, scrum, 30 metres out from the Roosters line. 30 points to break now. It was 20 at half-time.
I did mention a statistic last week that, looking back at last year's sides, the successful teams only conceded between 15 and 20 points on average throughout the year. The Sharks, who've always been an excellent defensive team, their first 2 matches over 30 they conceded. This afternoon they're up to 40.
This is Graham looking dangerous there for half a second. I thought he might have been through. Now Bailey. Bailey's got it away. Frenzy is in. Frenzy has scored on the left wing.
Well, one thing about Phil Bailey, Ray, is he's got size and he's got footwork as he props outside Justin Hodges. And a little Matthew Gidley trick there. Out to Frenzy. He goes over a little too late, guys.
Yeah, Todd Byrne coming in there to help Justin Hodges, and well, he had the ability to keep the arm free and get the around the corner pass delivered. It's a great pass and wonderful camera shot there to show how the ball went backwards to Franze. He's had a mixed afternoon, but generally played pretty well this afternoon for them.
He's a good player, Franze. I just get, he is a centre, he's been moved to the wing. I just get the feeling with him that, like a lot of centres, he's getting used to that up and in defence. And it's something that he will adjust to. It's just a little change from what he's used to in the junior ranks and so on.
Is it Franze or Fronze? Are you able to tell us officially?
I've done the research, Ray.
I'm gone.
Franze, I've got it from good authority.
Yes, I did see you talking to his father earlier. From out near the touchline. The kick is on its way off the boot of Greg Bird, and it's just away. So 40 points to 14 is the score at Toyota Park as we break. As we welcome you back, Bill Harrigan learning some new tricks with the whistle. It's the high kick from Fitzgibbon, and down they go, the defencemen, to round up Nick Graham. Don't forget, you've got a chance to win $1,000 courtesy of Nutrigrain, and all you do is predict Phil Gould's most valuable player from this match. And the SMS number, the full name of the player, SMS full name of player to 0428 123 999. 0428 123 999. Entries closed noon tomorrow, and the winner will be announced on the Sunday Footy Show. Thank you, Nutrigrain. Now played by Beattie. And Graham, he kicks, he's looking for Bailey. This bounce will have to be good for Byrne. It was. Because he had a lot of pressure on him. The attackers outnumbered the defence.
Two now, let him up, Jason, quick.
And see, right there, he had the likes of Bailey and Graham converging on him. He needed the bounce, and he got it. Caddick will play the ball back to wing on halfway. Peter's right. He's had a wonderful game. So is this fellow, Minicello, going close to the sideline, then putting the brakes on, and Peachy helped him put the brakes on. Payer, Andrew.
Yeah, just to point, Jai Mullane's only just warming up on the sideline. It is a bit odd when a side is copying a bit of a toweling on the scoreboard. You can go 70 minutes basically and only use 3 of your interchange players. In some ways, you've penalised your own team, but now Jai Mullane will get his run for the last 10.
One now. Here we are, Roosters. Marcus, lock in.
Franze.
2, let him up now, quick.
Just inside the 30-metre line. Bailey's played okay today. I think he's been certainly one of their better players in a beaten team. Now they go across to Kamali, and Kamali tries to go back through the middle. And he's upended and put away by the forwards, led there by Cusack. To the right side for Jason Stevens. And Ricketson and Fittler, and another who's still to get up. Fitzgibbon underneath him. Fitzgibbon gets up and looks like he's been run over by a bus. The kick out wide, and Cronulla's got the ball. Great piece of work by Franze out there, and now it's been kicked and gone out on the full.
Well, that's the kind of kick that Brett Kamali was looking for earlier when Phil Bailey knocked on, and that's a great effort there from Franze.
10 minutes to go now. 8 changes made by Cronulla. 40 points to 14. Metasila just outside the 30-metre line. His own 30-metre line. That is Michael Crocker. So a fairly bleak start to the year for Cronulla has continued this afternoon. That ball rolling over the dead ball line. We'll come back to the 20. So defeats here at the hands of Melbourne and the Roosters, and then they got really shortened up by Brisbane last weekend.
Sterling, you know what I like about the Roosters? Every time Fittler, Finch and Wing get out of the advantage line, there's just bodies in motion, and things will happen. They're just such a cohesive unit.
Here's Bird trying to get in behind Cusack. He is held by Cusack and Caddick, and now it just starts to bubble over a little bit, and a penalty has gone to the Sharks.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what went on here. Cusack and Bird coming together. Young Greg had much to say, but Peter reacted.
He certainly wasn't in the position to be giving any cheek, young Greg. Here is Beattie.
That's one, let him up, quick.
They're about 17 metres out from the Roosters line. And Stevens
all the way up, Jason, for 2.
drives it into them. Played back to Treaster, away to Peachy, and then on the second bounce it's with Kent. Kamali for Beattie. Beattie, he offloads. It's still with the Sharks. Stevens, Kamali, then the run around. Is it on? Taking it to ground, Bickerstaff. It's come away, and that's Hodges. And Hodges drives it out towards the 30-metre line. So the Roosters repelling whatever the Sharks had to offer late in the game. Crocker.
2, let him up now, Dean. All right.
Wing. And that is Caddick.
3.
Completions, 15 from 33, Cronulla, not enough. 26-37 for Sydney Roosters. And that kick is good. Where did he kick that from? Brett Finch with a big smile on his face. And there's the 40-metre line. And that is a magnificent kick by Brett Finch.
It's not bad, is it? He's kicked it from about the 35, which is, say, there, down to there.
Oh, beautiful.
How good's that?
Did you do art at school, Sterling?
I'm just showing you what he did. He's trying to educate you, young Matthew.
Doing a good job too, mate.
Yeah, that completion rate's a real problem for Cronulla again this afternoon, under 50%. Last week it was 67. To be competitive against these elite sides, you've got to be looking at 75.
Finch goes open side to Fittler, and then a flying Minicello is picked up and put away. Katic looked like he did a complete cartwheel with him. Wing. Dummies to Cusack back on the inside. This is Metasila. Right in the middle of the park. The uprights are only 8 metres away from Crocker as he's hammered. Beatty, but Jovi can hit. Here is Finch looking at the gap. Fittler couldn't take the ball. It is with Robinson. But it's gone forward and a scrumble packed out. Look at this tackle on Minicello. You talk about lifting above the horizontal. I'm just looking at that. He's almost cartwheeled him. Up he goes. Thought he was horizontal, vertical, and everything else. Anyway, nothing was said. It might have looked a bit sus to some of us. Ball played over there by Eismunger. I think he's back in the game, is he not? Here is Treaster. Treaster's gone through. A fragile tackle. Mullane it is who kicks back into the middle. Kamali won't give up. Minicello. Beautiful work by him. Tackle just inside his own 10-metre line.
He's worked very hard again, Dean Treaster, this afternoon. And he put this man away, Jai Mullane. Nice, he placed a little kick. But a lot of defence got back to Brett Kamali and then Minicello. Superstar.
Cusack knocking on. Inside the last 5 minutes. Next weekend, Cronulla will play, as I said, the Storm in Melbourne. And the Roosters play the Cowboys in Townsville. As the Sharks go away to the left-hand side of the ground. Jai Mullane is playing in jumper number 18. Hand on the ball in the play. The ball brings a penalty.
Yeah, I don't think the Sharks have done any favours early in the competition, getting buys in round 2 and round 7. Might be all right late in the season when you probably need a little bit of a break as the Sharks look to keep the ball alive. Greg Bird gets 6 again. This game continues to get a little bit sloppy as we get towards full time.
Youngquist through to Peachy. Down at the bootlaces there of... Was that Eismunger? No, it was Mullane. Here's Peachy. And they're close to the line. Right, in fact, at the foot of the uprights. Kamali. It's gone to ground. And it's 6 more tackles for Cronulla. Bird flicking it into Eismunger. And he will play it. 11 from the line. Treaster goes to the short side. Bird with a little juggle. Took some of the impact away from the attack. Kamali double pumps it, gives it to Beatty. Did well to hang on to it. Treaster for Eismunger, and he's short of the line. Plays it again. Back to Kamali. Then it goes to ground, and Peachy did very well. Stephen gets it away to Bickerstaff, and Bickerstaff is required to play the ball close to the line. They go for it. They've lost it. Harrigan wants to have a look at what has transpired there.
Well, Jason Stevens isn't the belief he either got it down or the ball was raked out. He was very keen when he saw a quick play of the ball. It didn't take him long to think, well, I can score this. I can get across from here. Wing is there. Up where the football is. Comes loose. He loses the football. I think the only decision to be made there is whether it's a penalty against Craig Wing for stripping, but I don't think it's a try.
Well, if Craig Wing stripped the ball, I think it's Bickerstaff coming in and get downward pressure, Ray.
Yeah, I think he knocks on as well.
I keep wondering when we're going to see a try awarded anyway in this set of circumstances. You're over the line, and a two-man tackle, the ball is stolen from you, if in fact that was the case.
I think Bickerstaff's got it down, guys.
Yeah, that might be the other option. I thought that when Bickerstaff comes in, and there you see him left of shot, diving across, realising the ball has come loose. I thought he knocked on there, but it actually goes onto the leg of Craig Wing, and his hand stays on the football. So I would imagine either a penalty to the Sharks or possibly a try to Matt Bickerstaff.
I think the latter, Peter. Now that I look at it, I think Matt Johns might have nailed it. And it would seem the fairest way out of this, because Stevens, if he didn't meet from the interference from Wing stealing the ball, is going to score a try. There's no doubt about that. And Bickerstaff, I think, has scored the try. After the match, by the way, Peter will talk to New South Wales coach Phil Gould. Decision pending from the video referee. And it is a penalty try. Well, that's what I was alluding to. That's exactly what I was alluding to. It had to be faced up to sooner or later. And without Craig Wing stealing the ball, Jason Stevens scores a penalty try.
Well, the last penalty try, the grand final, Melbourne St George. I can't remember one since then. And there the referee, or the video referee, is saying that Jason Stevens would have definitely scored if there wasn't interference from Craig Wing.
Video referee is Chris Ward. So the penalty try, he normally marks under the uprights the fact that with one of his touch judges that it is a penalty try. The kick is taken from in front, and it has been converted. Cronulla, Jason Stevens, you've got yourself a try. It is 40 points to 20. Not an 8-point try, which is, of course, a try where a player scoring a try is fouled. In scoring it, they get a couple of kicks out of that. The penalty try, the conversion is taken from the middle of the uprights, and there's Bill indicating that, pointing to the spot. And Chris Ward, the video referee, deciding that that was the only way to go.
That's one.
So, in many ways, a standard now has been set. What about the most famous penalty try of all those Peter referred to back in 1999, wasn't it?
Yeah, Craig Smith from Melbourne.
Stevens. The big hand in the face there from Hilda, I think it is. The ball coming loose, and Bill Harrigan penalising. Now back chatting, so he advances the mark. Time is up. Kamali's kick floating across to the scorer of 3 tries, Todd Byrne, and that is the end of the game, with the Sydney Roosters winning the game by 40 points to 20.
They scored 7 tries to 4 and really had the game won at half-time. Cronulla hanging in, but making far too many mistakes to the satisfaction of their fans or their coach. A 20-point win then to the Sydney Roosters over the Sharks. As we go to a break, Peter will come back with the man of the match, plus the New South Wales coach, Phil Gould.